Welcome to Just Men, a life-changing program that resonates hope as well as encouragement. The program that gives you information and inspiration for the glory of God. I'm your host, Jeff Tate, and thank you for joining Just Men. On today's program, we have a very special guest. This is his first time being on Just Men. Please welcome Stefan Forbus. Stefan, welcome to Just Men, my man.
All right, pleasure to be here.
Oh, man, it is our pleasure for you to be on here.
I'm from Nashville, Tennessee, so I grew up here in the church. Always went to church, and that's really where I got my idea that I wanted to be a professional musician. I started playing the saxophone when I was in 5th grade, and I've always loved music, but I never really thought it would be, something that would take me a long way or take me in a lot of places. I really wanted to be an architect when I was younger, but when I moved to Alabama, the high school I went to, they had a marvelous music program in which I took part in, and that just really inspired me to go further in music. And then not only that, but the church we attended down there was St. Paul AME Church, and the late Reverend C.C. Cummings, he invited me one Sunday to play the saxophone at church, and that was really my first time. That's the first time I really remember playing at church, and I've been playing in church ever since, and that's just motivated me to continue to play elsewhere professionally. So.
Yeah, and in terms of, because I didn't know that you can take it to another level, particularly at the collegiate level and even graduate school. Talk a little bit about that process and how that's helping to develop this craft or this gift that's inside of you.
Right. Well, once I made my decision that music was what I wanted to do, I wanted to pursue my degree in music. I started with music education. That way I could teach music and share, with students. But as I progressed forward, I just wanted to be on stage. I just couldn't help but want to be on stage, and I changed my major to liberal arts in music. So now I'm going to finish up next May and get my degree in music and liberal arts, and then I will go on to graduate school. That way I can get a performance degree. And with that performance degree, I'll be able to teach on the collegiate level as well as hold a position as a professional musician. So my saxophone teacher, Jimmy Boland, he really inspires me a lot because that's exactly what he does. He's in the studio all week. He's on tour all week. It's like you got to reschedule your lesson every time. But he comes back and he shares with us, and we learn a whole lot from him, not only about music, but about just different aspects of life.
Man, that's good. And now you're diving into where I want to go in terms of this mentoring relationship that you have, and explain and talk a little bit about the importance of having a mentor, someone to model, someone to sort of fashion and channel your gift and kind of cultivate your gift. How significant that is, and what are some of the lessons that you've learned through that relationship?
Wow. Because that's a deep subject, like you said, man. A mentor is someone who's going to be there for you and not judge you on mistakes that you may make. Nobody's perfect, so everyone makes mistakes, and your mentor has to be someone who's really going to look after you, and help mold you into what you want to be. And I've had several mentors. Like, one of my main mentors would be my pastor from Alabama, Reverend Cummings. He just kept me coming back to the church. Come play the saxophone, just play. And he was a great singer, so he really inspired me a whole lot of what type of tone or what type of feeling I want to give off in a church setting. But when I would play with him and he would sing, man, it would just be like a magical moment. But he really mentored me a lot. And then another mentor, like I said, my current saxophone teacher, Jimmy Boland, he like if I come to a lesson late, he won't start off with, well, pull your saxophone out and let's get to work. Man, why are you late? What's going on? Well, you could have called and said, I'm gonna be a couple minutes late. But yeah, he always gives me a different avenue of a way to take something that might be negative and turn it into a positive and let it work for the better good. he just like if I'm having a issue with getting ready for a performance, he'll say like play like you've never played before, and that's tough to top, man. You know, if you playing all the time, you know, that's a lot to shoot for, and he helps me keep my standards high and my aspirations, and then if I'm still having trouble, he'll go into, well, what if this was your last note ever? Last note. You got one note to leave the world with, you know, and that's a lot to hold up. You know, that's why I take pride in what I do. I focus on it and concentrate and try to get my sound to be 100 times better than it was last time. You know, and it's a great challenge. But I like to challenge myself, and I definitely want to be on stage. So you got to do, you know, what you got to do to get on in there.
Yeah, that's beautiful. How do you keep your balance? I know that you were saying your mentor, your pastor, in terms of the stage, the atmosphere, sometimes that brings, and you said yourself you want to get on stage. How do you stay within yourself and not allow the elements or the environment, you know, pull you into hype, pull you into thinking you're more than the gift and things of that nature? So how do you stay balanced in that area?
Probably with my church life, because like I said, I've been playing in church ever since about 10th grade. So I currently play at Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church here in Nashville, and when I'm playing there, you know, that's my stage for God, and that's what I'm doing. I'm playing for God. And it's not only it's not used for entertainment purpose, you know, at church. You know, when the Spirit moves, it takes you in. But when I'm on stage in a different venue, it's more or less the same type of thing. You know, I know what I'm here to do. I'm here to share my message through my music. And even if I'm not at church, I'm still on stage for God, you know, playing for Him. He gave me my gift, you know, and I have to use it for Him, you know. And it just, with the church versus the rest of the world, you know, it just it kind of balances out. But sometimes, you know, once I can get too heavy. But I just remember something my mom and my grandmother always used to tell me. They always used to say, well, we know you're going to be famous. And I never, you know, never let it get to my head. And still to this day, I don't think I'm famous. I don't know if I'm going to make it, you know. But I'm going to strive as hard as I can to get what I want, where I want to be.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. I know that the Scripture talks about having a hunger and fulfilling that hunger. Obviously, one is to fulfill it with God, but then also to fulfill it with walking in your purpose. Your purpose many times will bring about the same atmosphere that you can get by going to church or reading His Word, by fulfilling your purpose and your passion. And I like what you said in terms of keeping it balanced. And sometimes it get, like you said, out of balance, but you know how to go back, you know, to your foundation in terms of that. Have you found the arena or the genre of the type of jazz that you're going to line up with?
That's a very sensitive subject for many musicians who start in the church, because of course if you start out singing, you know, gospel and sacred music, then you exit that world into the secular world, you know. But I think I have a great opportunity here. Being an instrumentalist, I don't necessarily have to use words as my message. I just let the music take the person, you know, wherever it should, you know. So when I'm at church and I'm playing a gospel song, you know, it feels just the same as when I'm out on stage playing a jazz piece. So really what I want to do is not put myself in a box and hold myself contained. I want to be able to play at church every week, even if I play on stage last night, you know, but I did get up and go to church and play for the Lord, because that's, you know, that's where it all started. But yeah, I can play gospel, and then I can go and play jazz, and then I can turn that all around and play some hip hop, you know, or R&B and neo soul type of thing. I just want to be able to play whatever comes to mind, you know, and not have to worry about the words and are the lyrics appropriate for this or are they appropriate for that, because like I said, with my instrument, you know, it just speaks through the saxophone. So.
Wow, that's beautiful, and that's good. I mean, especially if you can maintain that sense of perspective to have your music so universal,
right,
that it reaches the soul of people, regardless of the position they're in, whether they're receiving it from a religious position or receiving it from a secular position. The music itself will touch them where they are and allow the Spirit to flow through that,
right,
to bring about that awakening in terms of what people need. So that's powerful. I know that, you know, I've always liked jazz and the, like I said, without the words.
Mm-hmm.
And it has ushered me into a point of peace. What does the music do for you?
Well, music for me is like almost like a mode of transportation. You know, it's just how I express myself or alleviate pains or just many different things. Any situation probably you can pull up in life, it's going to be a song that's going to relate to that and help you get through that, you know. I'm not a great speaker, so when I put my horn up to my mouth and I'm ready to play, that's me speaking through my music. So this is my expression. This is how I express myself to the world and how I express my feelings, you know, whether they be sad, angry, happy, many different things. Like before a show, if I'm not really having a good day, that's probably gonna be the show to be at, because it's gonna be full of soul and energy, you know, and it's just me relieving all that stress, you know, and just getting it out there. It just lets me have my own voice, you know, even though I already have a voice, you know, but it's just another way for me to express myself.
Wow. Is there any particular song or piece in that collection that resonates more than the others?
Yeah, actually, two songs on my CD that really speak to me because they're some of my favorite songs. There's one tune called Summertime, which was actually a George Gershwin tune that was written for an opera, a classical opera, Porgy and Bess, and a lot of people have done it in many different genres, and the jazz versions of it, you know, I just love to hear them. So that, for a long time, that was like the first song I played anywhere. Like, if I go somewhere to play, that's the first song you're going to hear, Summertime. And that song, it really speaks to me. I like the summertime, you know, it's a good time of the year. And it just, I don't know, it's something about it I just like. You know, it's a happy song with the lyrics, but it's kind of more of a sad type of feeling with the music. And then another song would be the last song on the CD called Blue Bossa. It's just one of my favorites. It's like a Latin type of song, and I don't know, it just makes me want to, you know, do like a little dance or something. You know, I just like that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful, man. That's it's amazing how even you're putting things together, your music and what inspires you about music and the different types, the different genre of music, how universal and how unscripted it seems to be playing itself out. It's almost like you being on the program today, so unscripted and but yet when you just tap in and surrender and release, you see how things just flow. Last word of encouragement that you would have for those who are sort of giving up on their passion or feel stagnant and feel that they don't have the strength to persevere. What word of encouragement would you have?
My word of encouragement for those people would be, you know, never let your aspirations go by the wayside. You know, always shoot for your dreams and shoot higher for what you really want, you know, because as long as you stay in the Word and have a good relationship with God and stay in church, you know, and focus, really get that focus together on your craft, you know, you'll go a long way. And then